Welcome to another Sunday WOAY ABC4 Community Forum, where we talk to community leaders and local success stories to discuss important information that affects all of us here in Southern West Virginia. I'm your host, Brandy Lawrence, and today we're joined by another distinguished guest. Captain Liz from the Salvation Army is here to talk to us today about the status of the new building and the upcoming Boys and Girls Club. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Brandy. This is awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I know a lot of people have like a basic understanding of what the Salvation Army is and does, but for people out there that may not be familiar with all that you all do, what is your mission?
Yeah, so the Salvation Army has been around for over 156 years, and our mission is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ and to meet human needs in His name without discrimination. And that looks different for each community because we want to have our pulse on what the true needs are. And so it could be anything from food boxes to exciting things like our Boys and Girls Club to even Christmas presents on Christmas or food baskets just throughout the week. We just want to do whatever people need to meet that need and to let them know that they live in a community where our neighbors take care of each other.
Awesome. And speaking of Christmas, since it's like right around the corner, we've kind of already seen, the bell ringers and things out, taking donations. But what has it been looking like for you all this season? We were talking a little bit about the Angel Tree and that there are more kids this year.
Yeah, this year we've really seen families be impacted by just the prices right now. I mean, you go to the grocery store and what you used to be able to buy for $100 and fill a cart, now you might just get like 4 bags. Mm-hmm. And so we've seen a big increase on families who are needing help with food and also needing help with providing those Christmas presents, because we never want a family to have to choose between, do I pay rent, do I buy groceries, or do I get little Sally that extra help from Santa to get that wish that they're really wanting to have for Christmas? And so we try to be Santa's army and his helpers at Christmas time through the Angel Tree. And we, interview families pretty much in September and October, and we get those names, we get those toys, those wishes, we compile them, and then you'll start to see these angel trees popping up. There's the angel wreath at the mall. You'll see it at Walmart. Optimum Internet has some angel trees out. You can go online, but what we ask the community to do is to adopt one of those angels, to go shop for those toys, put them in a bag, and then we deliver those to the families in December. So that way parents can know that, wow, that takes a little bit of that financial pressure off. And, we do this for the kids. We want every kid to wake up on Christmas morning and have that excitement of just ripping in and having wrapping paper everywhere. And just, again, knowing like, hey, I'm loved, I'm cared for, and just something as simple as a gift like a basketball or a Barbie doll, that really helps kids know, like, hey, this is going to be okay. It's those core memories that are formed at Christmas time, and we want to make sure that no kid wakes up on Christmas and says, what happened? Where's Santa? So we get to be Santa's helpers at this time of year.
Absolutely, that's great. And it honestly even feeds into last week's forum that we had. We spoke with Toys for Tots, and they said that their mission is, they believe that every child deserves a Christmas. Yes. And I feel this is a continuation of that.
Yes, and shout out to JP. He works so hard with Toys for Tots, and they help the Salvation Army even. It literally takes an army. I think they do like 10,000 toys. This year we have 459 kids, and for each one of those kids we try to provide 3 toys and some sort of winter outfit and a food box. Mm-hmm. So it can't just be, one, it takes all of us. And I think all of our agencies are seeing that need for families who are just, we all are feeling it. It's hard this Christmas. And so we just want to make sure that everybody pulls in together. And if you're out and you're shopping, we throw an extra toy in there, throw it in the Toys for Toys box, hit up the Salvation Army Angel Tree, because even if you think, well, this one Barbie doll is not going to make a difference, for that one kid, it probably is. Yeah. So don't miss that opportunity. And it makes you feel good when you're out shopping.
Definitely. I'm sure it means the world to these kids, just to even get a little present that you think is inconsequential. Like, it means so much to them.
Absolutely. So it doesn't take much to bring smiles to people's faces.
Definitely. And who doesn't want to make children smile?
Come on. That's what we're here for, right? Having a good time. And the Boys and Girls Club's a part of that too. So it's a lot of these kids that are on the Angel Tree, they may be kids that come to us every day after school. So it takes all of us.
And I want to get into the Boys and Girls Club because this is, a big adventure and everything that's going on. How's that going so far? You have kids signing up already?
Adventure is a great word because this has been a journey. So we have 14 kids officially fully registered. We can take up to 50. And so mom, dad, if you're out there, grandma, and you're like, man, my kids come home from school, they go straight on Netflix, Roadblocks, I want them doing something more than that. The Boys and Girls Club is your home. This is a brand new, the first ever Boys and Girls Club in Raleigh County, which it just blows my mind that there hasn't been one before this. But we wanted, again, we saw that community need, that, you know, there's not a place for kids after school, Monday through Friday, where they can be safe. They'll have, you know, a nice meal to eat, so they'll be full. We do homework help. And then, of course, you know, we're the Salvation Army. We're not going to do it if it's not fun. And so we're going to have tons of fun. We have a huge gym. We'll have STEM labs. We'll be able to do science experiments and then just have fun in the game room, shooting hoops, playing pickleball, volleyball, you name it. Those enrichment activities, we want these kids to have a place where they can be free to express themselves, but also have the support of mentors and people pouring into them to say, hey, you have a future here in Beckley. You know, we don't really ask kids, what do you want to do when you grow up? We ask them, who do you want to be? Because I think that question gets to the heart of who we are as individuals. And if we can get a kid at the age of 8, 9, 10 to say, hey, when I grow up, I want to be kind, I want to be generous, I want to be loving. You know, those core values, that starts at the Boys and Girls Club, because we believe that bright futures start here and they start now. And so this club will be open for K to 12. And so that whole gamut of age range, if parents have a kid that are like, you know what, I think my child could benefit from that kind of program and that kind of structure and just development, because that's what we're about, developing people to be leaders and to be, you know, the future for our community, because we need these folks to stay here and to really invest in what we have going on right now in Beckley, which is a lot. There's a lot happening.
Yeah, it really is. And I think it's really great that you ask the kids, you know, what do you want to be? Or what type of person do you want to be, like, you know, when you grow up? Because I think it focuses more on, you know, character traits.
Exactly.
And building character rather than, you know, aspiring to a certain job. And I think that that'll get them a lot farther in life, just being kind to others. And
exactly. And the Salvation Army, you know, we kind of target at-risk youth, because a lot of times we feel like they're the kids that kind of fall through the cracks. Mm-hmm. And so we really try to build all of our programming around developing those skills, whether it be social skills, academic skills, career skills. And I believe that happens on one-on-one terms of, you know, having a mentor, being someone that, you know, this is a safe place, so that if I do have a bad day and maybe I'm expressing myself and maybe not the most appropriate way, but then we can work through that to get to what we like to call the thing beneath the thing. So if a kid comes in and says, well, I'm just really angry today. Okay, well, why are you angry? Is it because you're hungry and you're just hangry, or is it because there's something going on in your home life? And that's where we can really build in that case management and also work with the families, because we want the families to know, yeah, the Boys and Girls Club is a great place for kids, but it's also a great place for the community at large. And so parents, for them to come in to help with our social service side, I'm saying maybe they need utility assistance, maybe they need food, maybe the parents are stressed because they have these things that they're carrying, and then that's going on to the kids. And so for us in the community, it's really this holistic idea that this new building, this new Boys and Girls Club, is a space for all people to come to really find that, who am I in my identity? And again, back to our mission is centered in Christ and our identity in Christ. And that's the reason we do that, is the love of God compels us. So even if the kids are having a really bad day, you know, having our staff know, like, love is going to break through a lot of those barriers, and giving those opportunities to express that in an appropriate, controlled environment. I think that is what leads to folks working through some of those deeper issues, and hopefully as a community solving some really systematic problems that we have. And so that we don't see kids going down maybe generational poverty or getting into things that they shouldn't be into after school. You know, this way it kind of directs them into a more positive approach to really, as you said, develop the whole person fully.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I get really jazzed about it, and I need help. Like, we need mentors. So if you're ever free, come on down. You know, we'd love to have mentors and homework tutors. So if anybody's watching this and is like, hey, how can I get connected? Definitely reach out, either call us, get on our website. We do have a lot of paperwork for you to fill out to be with the kids. But once you're vetted and trained, you know, we need the community to really come in and help. And even if it's just shooting basketballs with kids, you'll be surprised how many kids are looking for that adult attention that maybe they're not getting. They may not get it at school, they may not get it at home. So if you could come in and, you know, help just play sports with the kids, do some homework help, even just cooking in the kitchen, because we've got a beautiful kitchen that we're going to throw down some awesome meals. So we definitely need help and volunteers for that.
That's great. And I'm really glad that you brought up, how we can help, because Community Forum, I always love to find out ways that the community can get involved. And if there are any, parents right now watching that are interested in, signing up their kids for the Boys and Girls Club, how would they do that?
Yeah, so the easiest thing is to come see us. We're down at our old building, which has been there for like 96 years. It's still standing. It's got some bruises on it, but it's still there. It's 312 South Fayette Street. Just stop in and say, hey, I'm interested in the Boys and Girls Club. We have a packet for you to fill out for the kids. And then there's a small interview process where you'll sit down with me and some of our staff. And we just really want to gauge that family, because again, this is for the kids, but we want the whole family to be involved, because we're not a daycare. That is not, if you're like, the Salvation Army is going to take care of my kids, that is not this program. This is not it. This is a program where we want families to know we're going to invest as much as we can into your kid. We want you to invest in them as well. And so come down and see us, 312 South Fayette Street. Or if you can't make it to us, you can get to our website, which is beckley.salvationarmypotomac.org. There's a little logo at the bottom that says Better Together, and it's got the Salvation Army logo and the Boys and Girls Club logo. Click on that. It'll take you to our online form questionnaire, and then you'll probably do a virtual phone interview with me so we can just get to know you, and then we'll get your kids registered, because we can only take 50 right now. And so I'm being very selective on those 50 kids. And I'll tell you, one of our first Boys and Girls Club kids hung out with me, I guess 2 weekends ago at West Virginia Tech, because they're all about communiversity, right? And so when I was there at Tech, this our first ever Boys and Girls Club kid, he's a 3rd grader. He was so excited. He's like, Captain Liz, you want to see me do a backflip? And I was like, you better ask your mom first. And he's like, watch this. And he was just so excited. He's like, when can we get in there? When can I play basketball? When can I do all this? And I said, it's coming soon, man. It's coming soon. As soon as we get our heat in the building, we're opening. And so, tell parents, come on down, see us in person, hit our website, or if you're really old school, give us a phone call. It's 304-253-9541. If you don't get me right away, we've only got 2 people answering phones right now. Leave a message. I'll definitely return your call. But I definitely, if parents are thinking, well, I'm not sure about it, just come check it out. And if folks want to come see the building, call me. I do tours all the time. So because everyone's like, what's behind that crazy building that's popping up next to Sheets? Like, what's back there? And you'll be surprised. I still have people saying, is that going to be a thrift store? It's not a thrift store, everybody. There's no thrift store. It's all Boys and Girls Club and social services.
Awesome. Good stuff. So we are coming up on our first break, but you guys stay tuned. I will be right back with Captain Liz from the Salvation Army, and we're going to talk more about that highly anticipated building that everybody has been wondering about. So you guys stay tuned.
Right on. Cool.
Welcome back to Sunday Community Forum. I'm here with Captain Liz from the Salvation Army, and we're talking about everything that's going on with the Salvation Army right now, including the upcoming Boys and Girls Club that's coming to Raleigh County, and the new building that everybody has, been buzzing about. So, we know that there's kind of been some setbacks there, supply chain issues and things. So what is the current status of the new building, and what's the kind of rough estimated opening date?
Yeah, so when I think of our building, I think of it as 2 halves. So you have our front half, which is like the admin space, social services, the food pantry. The inside, when you walk in there, it looks like it's ready to go. The furniture's in, the flooring is in, the paint is on the walls. The only issue is there's no lights. And so we're waiting on the electrical panel that holds all the fuses. For whatever reason, that's still supply chained, back ordered. And so we have temporary power, but we don't have full power to run everything. So we're waiting on that. We're also waiting on our generator, because this building will be used as an emergency shelter. So if there's like mass flooding, if there's a mass ice storm, everybody loses power, we will be totally self-sufficient through our generator to continue to operate. So we can still have our kitchen run, all of that. So we're waiting on the generator, because I thought to myself, well, if we can get the generator in, then we'll just run off the generator till we get the, they're like, Liz, it doesn't work like that. And I'm like, okay. So we're waiting on that. And then the back half of our building, so front half is admin, the back half is the gym, which is massive. It's like a 9,000 square foot gym. It's gorgeous. It doesn't have a floor in it right now because we don't have electricity, and we're waiting on our rooftop units. So that controls all of our air conditioning and our heat. And those units aren't going to ship until January the 11th, which is like, I wanted to open January 6th. So it kind of pushed our timeline a little bit. And I think that has been the story of this project from start to finish. Even when they started, it was like right after the pandemic, and just working in that site, there was just a lot of issues, because I'm sure there's a lot of people in Beckley that remember what it used to be before we knocked down all the buildings and dug up everything. So we've had, there was a coal seam, we had to deal with that, water, issues that we had to redirect to the proper places because we didn't want to put a swimming pool in, we wanted a gym. And so we had to get that water out of there. And so we're really just waiting on those heating units and the actual fuse panel, the electrical panel, because once those two things get in, then the gym floor can be installed, and we can't put the gym floor in right now because of no climate control, and Beckley gets pretty cold. Yeah. And so as we move into the winter months, that's a challenge that we're facing right now, which even to the parking lot, we have the base coat of asphalt, which is a blessing because, again, those asphalt plants, if they shut down, then we're not going to have a parking lot until the spring. So we're really it's just like one thing, if it's out of order, it just throws everything else off kilter. And so right now we're just sitting with no heat and no electric. But once we get those two pieces, I think it's just going to take a couple days to get the gym floor in, get all the rest of the equipment into the gym, and then be ready to open. But right now I'm still hiring staff, I'm doing interviews, we're still moving forward, registering kids, because as soon as I get that key, it is full speed ahead. I'm moving into this thing, and we're going to have kids in there because I want that building to really be a place where not only kids know, hey, this is my safe place, this is home, but that the community knows, hey, I can go to the Salvation Army for my food box, or they're going to help me with my utility bill. And we do a lot of worship services as well. So on the weekends coming out, we do community meals. We have, worship programs on Sunday mornings where folks can come out and just be together as a community. And then also for, the seniors, like we'll have a walking track, we'll have pickleball courts. I've already been hit up by the pickleball community that's like, this is awesome. You've got 4 courts, it's inside, so it's heated, it's air conditioned in the summer, it's out of the sun. So, if you're the pickleball folks, we've got a place for you too, because even when the kids aren't there, we want this to be a true community center where folks know, hey, I can go to the Salvation Army, they'll be able to help me, but also have a space where we can get to know you. I want to know people's names and to just really build that true community that I think all of us long for, especially coming out of the pandemic. We're all looking for where's my place. And so we want this to be, folks' place.
Absolutely. It already sounds really exciting, like an exciting thing for even, the kids to be a part of, and the pickleball community, because I've seen that pickleball is really like hitting a fever pitch right now.
Oh my gosh,
there are
it's
professional
wild.
teams
Yes.
and things out here, like celebrities are buying into these teams, like
Yes.
it's real. So I can only imagine, the pickleball community is like clamoring to
Yes.
get in there. So hopefully it's coming soon.
That's one of my dreams, is to like walk into the building. And pickleball has a very unique sound if you've been around it. So like I can already, like when I walk through the building, be like, yeah, I can hear the pickleball clanking in the gym as seniors are in there. And then as the seniors leave in the afternoon and the kids come in and you start hearing those basketballs, like that's what gets me excited, is knowing like this is going to be a hub of activity and, positive activity, like activity where, folks can come. They're free to play, to learn new things, to learn new skills, but also like, that's where relationships are formed on those pickleball courts. And so I know with some of our groups, I'm like, man, we're really going to have to like structure this out. Maybe we could do a tournament or something, because I know that's just, it's a passion for folks right now. And it's an easy, low impact sport that the kids can play, but also the seniors can play. And just folks that maybe want something to do on a Saturday and say, you know what, let's take the family down to the Salvation Army and we're just going to throw down on the court today. So that's where I'm really excited to see that.
Awesome. Awesome. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
It is.
And, if people wanted to come as, a mentor or to volunteer, as we were talking about in like the first half, just help out in the center, how would they do that?
Yeah, so the best thing would be to come down and see us. We do have a volunteer packet, because anyone that works with our kids, they have to go through a full background check and full screenings, because again, our safety of our club is really important. So we have that screening process. It usually takes about 2 weeks to go through the full background check and training. But those trainings, they'll be announced on our website starting, right now we're in crazy Christmas mode, but starting in January, we'll be doing probably every other week a new volunteer training. And a lot of people think, well, I can't commit to, 40 hours a week, I have my own job. And it's like, well, that's not what we're asking. Even if you can just give 1 hour a week, 2 hours a week, one of the best things people say, well, I don't know how to be a mentor. I have no experience with that. How do I do that? The best thing I tell people is being a mentor is really just being someone that will listen to someone else sharing everything. And a lot of kids don't have that place to share with an adult, this is what's going on in my life. And what we see is a lot of kids turn to social media and online forums, which aren't usually the most positive place, because a lot of times you don't know who's giving feedback, to those kids. And so again, we kind of want to break that. And again, it's a lot of this are habits that are formed, because kids, it's easy to get on technology. It's easy to get on, a chat room that you probably shouldn't be in. And so having a person to say, hey, Captain Liz, today I'm really feeling down and this happened, that they're tools. And a lot of that just comes by just listening, like what we're doing today, just saying, hey, tell me about it. Tell me about your story. Tell me what happened today. What's your highs? What's your lows? That's one of the easiest things. And then the second easiest thing to do to be a mentor is coming in and reading to our kids. And so a lot of folks that say, well, I don't consider that being a mentor. You'll be shocked how much you'll become a mentor to these kids if they know, hey, first Friday of the month, Mr. So-and-so is coming in from whatever business and he's going to read to us. And again, we're K to 12. So there's a whole spectrum of the little kid books that are fun. They take about 5 minutes to read, but make a huge impact when the kids are excited and you're having that interaction. To even the older kids, and you might think, well, I'm going to read to a middle school kid? That's kind of weird. You'll be shocked how much kids pay attention, because when you're reading and literacy, it just engages a different part of the mind. And so when the kids are sitting there and they're listening to those stories and they're engaging with them, and again, we make things fun. So having object lessons with those stories, I think of Clifford the Big Red Dog, of having a big red dog in the room, those sort of things. That you don't have to change the world to be a mentor, but I guarantee you're going to change that kid's life by just being there and being present. And the best mentoring moments, I always say, take place in the hallways, because you might come in and read for the kids for 30 minutes, but then in the hallway, you'll have some of those kids come up to you and they might even say goofy stuff. You're like, kids say the darndest things, and they do. And usually those conversations take place in the hallway or in the parking lot, because even when parents come and they say, hey, why so-and-so here? I recognize you from the bank or, shopping at your store, and you're in here reading to my kids. Like, that's really cool. That builds community, right? So we're not asking you to come and commit to, another full-time job. Just coming in, even if it's just once a week or once a month even, to say, hey, I want to be part of the Read Club, or we do this really cool thing called Triple Play, where we focus on that homework, the healthy eating, and the sports. So just coming in and saying, hey, I've got 45 minutes on Friday night. I know the club does Fun Friday. I'm going to come down and be a part of their water balloon fight or volleyball tour. I mean, you name it. We do crazy stuff at the Boys and Girls Club. And so if people can come in and just be there, like the ministry of presence is real, and kids know it, because kids are the first one to call you out and be like, listen, this is you're not who you're saying you are, because they'll tell you straight up. Yeah. And they know that. And so when a kid sees you, even multiple times, they're like, oh, hey, Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so, like, she's really committed to what we're doing here. And that's what being a mentor, I think, is so important, is just being present and just being there to listen, because everybody has something to say. They may not have somebody to say it to, but they have something to say. And so we want to create that space, and the mentors are a huge part of that. So reading, homework help, even just coming out, hang out in the gym, playing some sports, it even helps us too, because the more adults we have in the gym, the better it is for us to crowd control and make sure everybody's engaging and working towards the same goals. So it's important. So come be a mentor. It's not intimidating.
That's great. I love that. Absolutely. And, for the people out there that may not be able to donate their time, is there another way that they can help you guys out? Donating money or, just other ways to help out?
Yeah, absolutely. So because of the Boys and Girls Club, again, we're focusing at-risk youth. We want to create that threshold of whatever our fees are, because we do have to operate and pay for this giant building now, and it's going to cost a lot more than our old building. And so part of that is our program service fees. And so we ask club parents to pay $50 a month for their child. Well, we know for a lot of families that's crazy. Like, they can't afford that. It's just not going to happen. And so we've reached out to donors and to the community to say, hey, can you sponsor a club kid? It might be sponsoring that $50 for 1 month. That makes a big impact. You might say, well, I'm going to sponsor that one kid for 12 months. That's a huge impact. Shout out to the city of Beckley. They came alongside us. I went to them and said, look, we're focusing on at-risk kids that maybe don't have, that extra income to put into an after-school program. Can the city sponsor half of these kids? And so for our first year, out of that 50 kids, 25 of those kids are fully sponsored. So our first 14 kids that are already officially registered, they're ready to rock and roll, they don't have to pay anything for that first year. And then that allows us, again, we're taking financial burdens off of families, and then we can come along beside that family and say, hey, look what you're getting. Like, somebody that you don't even know their name has believed in your family and believed in your child to sponsor them in this program. Can you come and help? And that's a great way for us to engage with families and to have that work scholarship where the kids can take pride in the building of saying, hey, I know I'm not the one putting up this $50, but hey, this is my space. I'm going to take care of it. And that's a culture we want to create of each child taking pride and taking care of our space and making it and seeing it grow. And so if people want to sponsor kids, call us. You can get on our website again, beckley.salvationarmypotomac.org. You can say, hey, I want to sponsor kids. You can send us a check in the mail, old school, and say, hey, I want to sponsor, one child for 1 month, or I want to sponsor 10 kids for 10 months. Whatever that may be, it's going to direct services.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us at the forum this week. You've given us so much great information. And thanks, guys. Tune in next week.
Cool.
Awesome. It was great.
Perfect. I appreciate it.